A very good morning to all the viewers and the webinar team. This is A. Ram Prasad, Principal, Telangana Model School, Ramachandrapuram, Sangareddy District. I am here to introduce Mrs. SHAHTAZ Begum, postgraduate teacher in political science from Telangana Model School, Dhanwada, Narayanpet District. She has a vast experience in teaching and she has her master's degree in political science from Usmania University. She is a wonderful orator. She has already conducted so many sessions for intermediate second year and a session for first year too. The session which she is going to conduct is a continuation session. This is the second session for the same topic, political concepts. So I look forward for all the students making optimum use of the session because this particular topic forms the foundation for your total subject. So good luck to all the students and to Mrs. SHAHTAZ Begum. Over to Mrs. SHAHTAZ Begum for her session.
Good morning, sir. I'm sharing my screen, sir. Good morning.
Yeah, please share the screen and start. Make it full screen, madam.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. This is Mrs. SHAHTAZ Begum, PGT Political Science, Dhanwada, Narayanpet District. I'm very glad to take one more session of this intermediate first year webinar session. And I'm also very glad for the words of honor said by my subject coordinator, Mr. A. Ram Prasad, sir, Principal TSMS Artsipuram, Sangareddy District. I look forward for the students to take optimum utilization of these sessions and see to it they are connected in to these sessions in this course of pandemic. So let us start the session. Today I'm going to take a continuous, I mean to say connected session for Unit 4 Political Concepts. In my previous session, I have discussed political concepts, law, liberty, and equality. There are 5 political concepts: law, liberty, equality, justice, power, and authority. In my previous session, I have discussed law, liberty, and equality. So in this session, let us discuss the other 2 political concepts called justice, power, and authority. So let us start with the first political concept, justice, of this session. Justice. When we hear this term justice, what comes to our mind is a common word. Justice is being fair. Being fair means being right. Being right. Being right and not doing anything wrong. That is the general things which comes to our mind when we discuss the word justice. Now, when we see the broader meaning, let us see the broader meaning of this term justice. Justice, it is one of the most important moral and political concepts. Very, very important political concept. In fact, it is an integral part of political science. Without this, there is lot of disturbance in society. The society cannot just adjust. Man makes many compromises, but that is based on this justice. When we live in society, then we must have a justful behavior towards our fellow mates. According to the famous Greek philosopher Aristotle, he said that justice is consistent what is lawful. According to him, justice is, it consists law, what is law and what is in law, within the legal framework of law. And it also involves the equitable distribution of all the laws without any discrimination to all the people. Justice, it symbolizes public life. It symbolizes public life because it is a not only a political concept but also a moral concept. It is an integral part of ethics, law, and philosophy as well. It serves as a basis. It serves as a basis for distribution of many social obligations in the society. Many obligations in the society. So thus here we can say that justice represents a synthesis. It is a synthesis, a combination or a mixture of law, liberty, and equality. Without law, liberty, and equality, justice just cannot exist. It also is like a thread which runs through these values and makes them part of an integrated whole. Just cannot expect justice without the existence of law, liberty, and equality. Justice acts as a thread which connects all these integrated parts and makes the political science or the political concepts an integrated whole. Now, let us see the general meaning of the term justice, from where this term justice has come. This word justice is derived from a Latin word justus and justitia. Justice and justitia. What does this mean in English? It means something which is primarily a joining or fitting, a bond or a tie, something which ties, a bond or a fitting. Now, what does the words joining and fitting means here? It implies to a bond between a man and a man in an organized society, in a complex society, sharing different relations and living in the society. As I quote here, the the Greek philosopher Aristotle, he said man is a social animal and man cannot live in isolation. So here when we start living in a society, we need to have a bond between a man and man among ourselves so that we can develop that complex system of human relations. It also means that it is a body of rules, obliging rules which are recognized and enforced by the state. It is what is justice? It means that it's a certain set of rules which are enforced to us by the state. That is justice. Now, let us discuss the definitions of the term justice. As you can see here on the screen, we have two definitions here given by Plato and Aristotle. Plato, he was a Greek philosopher. He is best known author of philosophical works. He has done many philosophical works. Philosophical. What does the term philosophy? Philosophy. We say philosopher. What is this philosophy? Philosophy is nothing but just a way of living, the study of values, the study of knowledge, and also questioning existence, reasoning the mind. All these are the things which a philosopher does. That is, philosophy is a way of living, a different way of living and questioning and reasoning. So, as the famous definition given by Plato, the Greek philosopher, his dazzling writings are still very much appreciated in the history. The definition given by him for justice is giving to every man his due. It is a combination of reason and courage. What is due? Due is something which we expect return. It is giving every man his due, means fulfilling everything. And it is a combination of reason and courage. And according to Aristotle, you can see here the picture of Aristotle, and here there's a picture of the Greek philosopher Plato. Aristotle was also a Greek philosopher. Not only a philosopher, he was also a scientist. His teacher was Plato, and Aristotle, he has vast knowledge not only in political things, but also different branches of science like biology, zoology, and also ethics, history, chemistry. He was expertise in all these subjects, and he is regarded as the father of political science. So according to Aristotle, justice is no other than each other, and every individual in society discharging his moral duties. So, according to him, every individual in society, when he or she discharges his moral duties, duties towards society, duties towards his family, duties towards his fellow beings, then we can attain justice. Justice, it every individual should do his or her duties. So these were the definitions of justice. Now let us proceed to the major concepts of justice. Justice, it has been elaborated by different theories, Here we are going to broadly study about three different theories given by Greeks, Stoics, and Roman concepts of justice, modern theory of justice, and contemporary theory of justice. Now let us first discuss Greeks, Stoic, and Roman concepts of justice. Now, according to the Greeks, Stoics, and Romans, what is justice? What is the foundation? What is the basis for term justice? On what it is laid? What is the basis form of justice? So, according to Plato, he laid the definition of justice. According to Plato, the term virtue laid the foundation of justice. What is virtue? Virtue is nothing but behavior which shows very standards, our morals or high moral standards. That is virtue. We can take honesty, loyalty, kindness, discipline, modest behavior. All these are the virtues which a man has. All these attributes to virtue. So, according to Plato, virtue laid the foundation of justice, and virtues are the core value of justice, because a person who has high virtues, will never do any injustice to any person or will never do anything wrong in his life. Then, according to Aristotle, he regards justice as complete virtue. When a person abides, law abiding capacity is there in the person, definitely that justice can be achieved. Justice can be achieved. So, according to Aristotle, abiding the law, following the laws is the complete virtue of justice. And according to Stoics, reason and superior to state of law. Stoics. What is this Stoic? New word. Stoic is nothing but a philosophy it is a philosophy of personal ethics. A philosophy of personal ethics. And from this word Stoic, we have a concept developed called Stoicism. What is this? It is nothing but it is a philosophy which practices the general virtues, and it practices the virtues which are important for and necessary for happiness, and also self-happiness, and also achieving happiness toward the fellow men. So according to this Stoics, justice could be discovered when reasoning and it was superior to the state of law. It was present before the state came into existence. That is according to Stoic. That is the concept of justice according to Stoic. The next theory of justice is modern theory of justice. Modern theory of justice. This theory, it emerged with social contract theories of Thomas Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau. John Locke and Rousseau. Now, to understand this concept, modern theory of justice, to understand this concept, we need to first know what do you mean by social contract theories of Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau. To understand this, let us proceed here. What is social contract theory? A social contract is an act by which individuals agree to form a government. Like it is a mutual understanding of transfer of rights. We can say it is a mutual understanding of transfer of rights. Because according to social contract theory, governments are established by the people who combine to achieve some goal. Now, as you know that we live in a society wherein we have certain rules and regulations to govern ourselves, to guide ourselves. In absence of these rules and regulations, we cannot survive or we cannot live a peaceful life. It just becomes like a forest, isn't it, children? So we need to have a set of laws and we need to abide by them to make our living a happy living and also to achieve some goals. So here you can see here, according to Hobbes and according to Jean-Jacques Rousseau, people here, the social contract, what is the meaning of the term contract? Agreement. Social contract theory is, it is a mutual agreement between the citizens and the government. And governments, what is government's duty? To protect the citizens and to make the decisions based on common good and general will. Now here you can understand here, people, that is we give power to whom? To government. Earlier it was monarchy, now also monarchy exists. That is kings, rule of a solo person, monarchy. Here we have countries in the world who follow monarchy and also who follow democratic governments. So people here give power to government, and in turn what does the government does? They protect their rights. They protect their rights. But when this government, it misuses the power given by the people, then the people replace or overthrows that government. How does we do that? We do that by enjoying our political right, that is right to vote, right to vote. So here social contract theory is nothing but, here it is an agreement between individuals for a common interest, to achieve a common interest. Because here governing people for attaining some goals, and it is also like trading, doing a business for achieving our liberty and for having a stable society, for having a stable society. So it is a board or agreement between the government or citizens or between the individuals. That is social contract theory. So this modern concept of justice, it emerged from the social contract theories different by different philosophers, given by different philosophers. So here let us understand what is this. So according to Hobbes, he identified justice with absolute sovereignty. With absolute sovereignty. What is sovereign? Supreme power. Supreme power. So according to him, justice can be achieved when supreme power is given to a state, and when the state is set to lay some laws and the citizens need to oblige them. And according to Locke, he identified justice with natural rights. Every human being is born with equal natural rights, and he is at liberty to enjoy his natural rights. So Locke identified justice as enjoying natural rights. And according to Rousseau, he identified justice as general will of the people. The will of the people to enter into an agreement with the government so that they are ruled by the government in an order to achieve certain set of goals, and not only to progress in their life but also to have their own personality development. Now the third concept of justice is contemporary theory of justice. Contemporary theory of justice. Now these theories, they focus on difference between substantial justice and procedural justice. Contemporary, what is contemporary? New, which is emerging based on the current situation. contemporary. So this contemporary theories of justice, they focus on two different justices called substantial justice and procedural justice. They're called substantial justice and procedural justice. Now, what is substantial justice? Substantial justice is it corresponds to the philosophy of socialism. It corresponds to the philosophy of socialism. Now, what is this? Corresponds means it implies and it applicates to the philosophy of socialism. It holds that society, the sections in the society like rich, poor, whether a person is poor or rich or underprivileged, they should have adequate opportunities to improve themselves. And it is the duty of the government to cater to the needs of such underprivileged sections so that they can also achieve goals in their life, because even they have the right to live and everyone enjoys equal rights. The word term justice itself says that equality. It says that many writers, many philosophers, they often used the term justice for equality. Without equality, justice cannot be achieved. So substantial justice, it corresponds to the philosophy of socialism. All the people without any discrimination, they should be provided with the all the minimum basic facilities, so that basic facilities and also those things, those facilities which will help them in development, in development. The next here is procedural justice. Procedural justice. Now, what is this procedural justice? It repudiates all discriminations and accepts equal dignity and moral worth of all human beings. Repudiates. What repudiates? Repudiates means refuse to accept. Refuse to accept. So according to this procedural justice, it refuses all the discriminations, and it accepts what? It accepts equal dignity and moral worth of all human beings. Discrimination should be rejected and only equality, the concept of equality should be accepted, so that we can protect the dignity and moral worth of all human beings. And this, for this, F.A. Hayek and Robert Nozick were the main components of the contemporary theory of justice. The new theory of justice, which will cater to the needs of the present generation. The next concept, that is, was given by John Rawls. He also laid one theory of justice. According to John Rawls, he has defined this theory of justice with three important principles according to John Rawls. You can see here, he showed that society can be strengthened. Society can be strengthened by strengthening its weakest sections. According to John Rawls, society can be strengthened by strengthening its weakest sections. And his concept of justice was based on these three principles, like equal liberty or freedom, equal opportunities, and the difference principles. The difference principle. So according to John Rawls, right to equality or freedom. What is this? People are free to do whatever they want as long as it does not interfere with the freedom of others to do what they want. Here, right to equality means people are free to do anything. Anything? Yes, but within the legal framework, and it should not trouble others. It should not harm others. That is the actually the essence of right of freedom or liberty. You have right of freedom. That doesn't mean that we trouble others, we harm others. We are free to do whatever we want, but within the limited sphere, and it should not interfere with the freedom of the other individual. That is right to freedom. And equal access to advantageous positions, equal opportunity. The next important principle of John Rawls' theory of justice is equal opportunities. Equal opportunities. Everyone should have the access to the same resources or privileges than any social, economic, or inequalities that exist cannot be blamed on an unequal access or structures of society. Everyone should have equal opportunities in improving themselves, equal opportunities for job, equal opportunities for accessing the resources, natural resources. No one should be deprived of this equal opportunities. And it is the duty of the state, it is a duty of the government to see that these underprivileged sections have the equal opportunities. To uplift them, it is the duty of the state so that we can achieve social and economic justice. Then only, if we have this concept of equal opportunities to all, then only we can see that justice has been achieved in our society. The third important principle is the different principle. What is this different principle? The first two, like right to freedom or liberty, equal opportunity. When these first two principles are achieved in society, and these principles are justified only when the benefit is going to the least privileged people, that is the underprivileged people, then only we can say that there is equal distribution of all the things in the society. That is, it implies that the benefits of the government, it should reach even to the underprivileged, mostly to the underprivileged people, without any discriminations. Then only we can say that we have achieved justice in the society. So these are the three principles on which John Rawls' theory of justice is based: freedom, equal opportunity, and the difference principle. That is, the unequal distribution of resources should be equally distributed, and the system should see that it functions the benefits even to the least privileged. Now let us see the types of justice. The types of justice. Now, as you can see here, we have four types of justice: legal justice, political justice, economic justice, and social justice. Legal justice, it is an application based on rule of law. It is an application based on rule of law. And the laws are made with principles of natural justice. The laws which are made here, it is based on the principles of natural justice. And when laws are made, they are made and implied, they are implemented on basis of what? On basis of rule of law. What is this rule of law? Rule of law is nothing but equality before law. Everyone is equal before law without any discrimination. Legal justice, it is actually, the laws are made here in the legislature. The direct source of law is legislature. The state is having the authority to enact laws on the people. It aims at providing justice to all. This legal justice, it aims at providing justice to all the people. The next justice is political justice. It symbolizes political unity. This political justice, it is a symbol of political unity. It implies provision of political rights to all adult citizens in a state. In our previous session, we have discussed political rights, isn't it, children? Yes, political rights like right to vote, right to contest in elections, right to criticize, and right to file a petition. All these are important political rights. Right to hold public office, right to vote is very important. So, it according to this political justice, when all these rights are given, political rights are given to all the eligible citizens in the state, then only we can say that political justice is achieved, isn't it? And these rights should be implied without any discrimination based on neither religion, caste, gender, creed, or any other thing, economic status. All these rights implies to all. They are universal in nature. That implies to all. Then economic justice. Economic justice, it eliminates exploitation from man by exploitation, from man to man. It stands for equal treatment of individual irrespective of differences. That means it eliminates all the ups and downs. It eliminates the differences between haves and have-nots. And it also stands on the principle of removing all the economic inequalities. It hints that everyone must be provided with basic, at least adequate food, clothing, and shelter, or other minimum needs. That is economic justice. It supports the principle that each according to his ability and to each according to his needs. Not only the government should see to it that every person is getting according to his ability, but also according to the need, of the individual. Then the next type of justice is social justice. Social here, the term social here means society. It implies a just social order, a balancing society, a society in which in which we don't have any absence of discrimination. And it also ensures eradication of social evils. So here, what is the term social evil here? In ancient days, we had many social evils. Like when we were under the British period, we had social evils like sati. We had social evils. So this sati and all these social evils which are a danger to the society were removed. Untouchability is also a kind of social evil. So social justice, it aims at removing all these social evils, abolition of privileges also based on birth, religion, or race. It sees to it that all the human beings are treated equally without any discrimination. So the next important political concept is power and authority. Power and authority. Now, this concept of power has become a key concept covering all the important dimensions in politics. Because generally also when we say which party is in power, isn't it? So the term power, it generally, covers all the important things, all important dimension and principles related to the word politics. Now let us see what is the definition of this word power. According to H.V. Weizmann, the ability to get one's wishes carried out despite resistance, even though in the presence of obstacles. The ability one has to carry out the wishes, to carry out the command, that is called power. It can be studied under two, power and legitimacy. power and legitimacy. What is legitimacy? That is a right of acceptance, right of acceptance. Power, it connotes something imposing. Something is imposed, forced, or enacted. Person who has power, he enacts something, imposes something. And legitimacy is, it implies that willingness to accept, willingness to accept. That is power. Now, legitimacy, it also implies the capacity to show the willingness of obedience. Therefore, it is regarded as lawful. And there is a close relation between power, authority, and legitimacy. Because here the willingness to accept must be there, then only these three things go hand in hand: legitimacy, authority, and power. Now let us see the different forms of power. Different forms of power. The ability or the power to control. What is power? The ability to carry out things, and in spite of many obstacles. In spite of many obstacles. Now, according to politics, that is in politics, if we see what is power, generally if we try to understand what is the meaning of the term power, it refers to influential powers exercised formally or informally. Formally with the organs of the government like legislature, executive, and judiciary. The power is exercised by the formal organs of the government. What are the three different organs of the government? Legislature, executive, and judiciary. But at times it is also in the hands of informal organs like pressure groups, popular movements, or mass media. Sometimes these informal organs also influences power. Power in politics is always that operates through laws. Power in politics is often that power which they operate through laws, a strict, rigid laws. Now let us understand the different forms of power, different forms of power. First, let us understand what is political power. Political power. Political power. The term political refers to politics, a system of administration, the system of governing a territory or a society. So when we see or when we hear the word political, that means it is a complete study of administration, government, its branches, division of power, decentralization power, and everything. So here the political power is operated through organs of the government, different organs of the government, and laws are enacted, and the people are forced to accept the laws, give their willingness to the laws. Then comes technological power. Technology, the word technology, here we are using in today's era, we are using technology more. Now here we have, in this course of pandemic, we are having this classes, webinars, and also even for the school going children also, through different apps, online classes are going on, isn't it? So what is all this? It is a use of technology. So technological power means a lot in today's generation. So how this is used in politics? We can see here during elections, this technology is used for different types of campaigning also by different political parties. But at times it is also dangerous, like because it gives us fake news, isn't it? Fake news. So here the people should realize and should have the power to understand what is the optimum and positive use of technological power. Here it is a very important concept in contemporary democracy. The next form of power is economic power. The word economic means it is something related to wealth, doesn't it, children? Yes, because economics is that study which studies about wealth. It is study of wealth. So economic power, it plays a very vital role in decision making or in making the policies or making important decisions in liberal democracies. It plays a vital role. It also sees to it that the natural resources are used properly, which are abundant, which are used properly, and also it sees to it that it have more economic power. Then comes ideological power. Ideological power. Ideological power is nothing but different ideologies or different principles followed for the progress of the nation. People, they believe that they are governed with the approval while they're actually continued to be governed according to their whims or according to the ideas of the ruling class. Ideas of the ruling class. Of course, we have constitution, but the ideas or the principles which set with the ruling party makes a lot of difference. The next is national power. The next kind of power is national power. The terms like in this world, contemporary world, we have often heard of the terms like unipolar world, bipolar, or multipolar world. What is this unipolar? Uni means one supreme power in the whole world, one supreme country which is very powerful in terms of technology or other things. Unipolar, bipolar, two supreme powers. So in this world, today's world, we see the world is divided into these things, that is division of powers. Now let us see the different perspectives. Let us see the different perspective of power. The power is classified under 5 perspectives. Perspective, point of view, elite perspective, group perspective, and gender perspective. Elite perspective. Elite. What does this term elite means? Elite means it is a group of people exercising major power or authority or influence. Major power, authority, or influence. That is called elite. E-L-I-T-E. So elite perspective. What is perspective? Point of view. Their opinion. Point of view. Their opinion. So according to elite perspective, it exercises political power, influences political power, and it was developed in the 20th century. It was developed in the 20th century, and according to this, a group of people, they govern according to the laws and according to the natural rights. Then next comes the group perspective. This, it divides the society into 2 groups, dominant and dependent groups. According to group perspective, it divides the group into 2, dominant and dependent groups. Dominant groups, that means it dominate the people who are dominating on others, and like and dependent, that means the other group which is dependent on this dominant group, which is dependent upon this dominant groups. Then gender perspective, it recognizes society based on the division based on gender, male or female. It has become very predominant study in power. This gender perspective, it has become very predominant in the study of power. This division is created by nature. Man has not created this division. This division is created by nature. The feminist theory, demands a thorough, and it wishes to liberate women. It wishes to liberate women in all forms. And examples we can see now, like women empowerment and other things. Class perspective. Class perspective. That means here the society is divided on haves and have-nots. Haves and have not. That means this division is completely based on the economic status of the individual. Economic status of the individual. And next you can see here modern perspective. Empowerment of vulnerable sections, the sections which are at risk, the sections which are at risk, like women. So for them, empowerment of women and such feminist theories have been adopted to make them on the safer side. So here in this, we have discussed justice, meaning and definitions of justice, concepts of justice, and also social contract theory, John Rawls' theory of justice, types of justice, then one more important concept of political science, power and authority. We have also discussed different forms of power, different perspectives of power. All these things we have learned in this session. I hope it was an informative session. I look forward for some more sessions like this, and also instruct the students to please refer the textbook and to check out for the doubts so that they can have a thorough understanding of this session. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, madam. It was a wonderful, and you laid the foundation for the political science rather. So hope all the students have followed your concepts and make use of the session for the subsequent session. Thank you very much, ma'am. So I look forward for some more session from you.
Okay, sir, sure. Okay, sir, thank you.